My church partners with an organization which helps to prevent children from going to the sex slave industry. I am here to talk about the organization Remember New. Human trafficking is the epidemic of this world. Being sold for sex is a devastating reality that we are all have to face with. And why should you care? Because it's happening all around us. Because about 1.2 million children are being sold for sex every year. Because that's about 1.2 million children with faces and dreams. Because that's about 30 million slaves globally. And because that's about 3.5 times the size of New York City. Because God has called us to care for the people that are suffering in this world. There is an organization that I personally see do incredible work to stop the sex slave industry. I'm here to talk about Remember New. Imagine that you are a 12-year-old kid living in the slums of Cambodia. Your family can't provide food or water for your family, and you can barely afford an education. You manage to pay 10 cents a day to go to a Christian school. This is where you meet and encounter God, and you become a Christian. Your life has changed. But later your grandmother, someone who you thought you trusted, takes you and sells your virginity to a man for 3 days. This was the sad reality of New. New was sold and repeatedly exposed and abused and exploited. She dropped out of the school because people were making fun of her being sold. Throughout the next several months, New was sold 2 more times to the same man. And during that time, she cried out to God, God, if you are so good and if you are so powerful, if you somehow love me so much, why are you letting this happen to me? Fortunately for New, there was a man God was speaking to. Carl Ralston heard God say to him the words, Remember New. And so Carl went out to Cambodia 6 times and searched for her. And when the two finally met, he adopted her into his family. It became their mission to fulfill New's prayer, that no child would ever have to go through what she went through. That is the mission statement of Remember New. Remember New mainly focuses on prevention. They believe that prevention is 98% effective at keeping children out of the sex slave industry. Their prevention program consists of 4 main strategies. First, Remember New is going to provide for the physical needs of these children, because if a child has food and water, they are less likely to have to go into the sex slave industry to provide for their families. The second thing Remember New does is they're going to offer educational support. They're going to take these kids and give them an education for those who can't afford it. Thirdly, Remember New is going to provide emotional support. These children, many of them come from broken homes and broken families, and for many of them, being sold is just something that they grew up knowing that would happen to them. And so volunteers at Remember New come beside them and encourage them and support them and shows them that they are more than what they are told. Lastly, Remember New is going to provide spiritual support for these children. Remember New is going to introduce the love of God into their lives, and they are going to show them what they are worth in Christ and their value. Because if you know your value in God, you are less likely to have to go and be sold. Remember New shows them that being sold isn't the only option. They can live a healthy and abundant life in Christ and not have to go to the sex slave industry. The next thing Remember New does is they're going to offer a sponsorship program. People will donate to Remember New, and Remember New will come up with a parent. These parents will take care of these children in the 4 ways that I previously mentioned. Currently, there are 32 homes in 9 different countries, taking care of 700 different children and keeping them out of the sex slave industry. The last thing Remember New does is they are going to offer vocational training. Children that can't afford to get a formal education, they will be sent to trade school where they can learn how to sew, to make jewelry, they will learn how to be a mechanic. And this will lead them to be able to get a stable job and have a stable income so they don't have to stoop to being sold. Remember New is an organization that helps prevent children from going to the sex slave industry. If you want more information about the organization, here's the website. This is the website, and there are many ways to get involved. You can be a local volunteer, which is actually something that I did. I volunteered at a banquet fundraiser for Remember New. They have short-term missions trips, internships, vocational instructors, and long-term service. I hope that this helped you learn a little bit more about what Remember Noon does and their importance in helping stop children from going to the sex slave trade.